Okay, so I've got some more results. I've started seeing some LLDP stuff. That's Link Layer Discovery Protocol, which is a layer 2 discovery thing. Um, I started seeing some IPv6, so I can now start to filter that. And let's see, I've started seeing some more DHCP stuff. This UDP port 67 and 68, that's DHCP. So I'm going to add a new filter rule and kick this off again. So I'm going to recall my, okay, so I've got not port 53 and, uh, and not port 67 and not port 68 and not port, oh, that's not what I was to do. Uh, I'm going to put these network statements at the very beginning. Not net. Now, what you need to do here for this network statement, it'll look something like this, not net FE80 : 16. What I'm going to do is, strictly speaking, the link local range is FE80 : 10. So I'm going to just blanket get it all. Not net FE80 : at 10. And so that takes care, now that doesn't take care of the LLDP stuff. Unfortunately, it's not giving me a port, and actually it won't give me a port number, really and truly, because it's a layer 2 thing, and obviously a layer 2 protocol doesn't have a layer 3 address. It really doesn't have layer 4 port information. So I would have to look at the TCP dump documentation right quick to tell it how to filter something at layer 2. Now, actually, let me try this. And not LLDP. So, not R, layer 2. LLDP, also layer 2. And then we start moving up to, now if I really wanted to make this logical, do the layer 2 filtering, then the layer 3 filtering, then the layer 4 filtering. So I could take this not net, not ARP, not LLDP, and not net FE80 : 10. So layer 2 filtering, layer 3 filtering, layer 4 filtering. So if I decide at some point to filter the multicast range a little more aggressively, I can put that in here. So I've got, and so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see if this will also catch my neighbor solicitation. Notice that we're dealing with IPv6 here. So we've got something related to FB, FF02 : FB using port 5353. FF : 2 is an IPv6 multicast range. I'll have to do a little bit of research to see what port 5353 is and what it's trying to do. So my IPv6 link local is trying to talk to a local multicast. And then it's also trying to do some neighbor solicitation using ICMPv6. This is also something you should discuss in depth in your TCP/IP and routers courses. So I'm going to kick this off and see what happens next. Okay, so it didn't like me trying to filter on LLDP. It told me I had a syntax error. I also noticed there was a problem here. There was, and not net, and not, okay. There was actually two problems here. And not LLDP. It didn't know what to do with that. Another problem is I had no AND operator between my network specification FE80 : /10 and my next port number. Remember, this is a Boolean operation. We're using a chain of Boolean operators. In this case, logically, and is an operator, which evaluates two things and if they're both true, it comes out true. Not is also a logical operator. So what we're doing here is an inverse operation. So everything that's not ARP, and also not coming out of FE80::10, and also not on port 53, and also not 69 or 67 or 68 or 138 or 1900. 138 sounds pretty familiar in terms of Microsoft. I believe it's if I were to pop up my file services server and scan it, I might see that port open for something related to NetBIOS. So this is running again. As you can see, I've been talking about this for a couple of minutes and it still hasn't given me anything. So I'm going to pause this now and we'll see when this comes back. It is 10:08 now, and let's see how long it takes to give me something interesting. Okay, so we're back. I did a little bit of research. This 35.222.85.5, that belongs to Google. So I can safely filter that out. I think that's, I think I can consider that baseline at this point, because it's happened for each of the last, let's see. So my very first scan touched something in this 35.224. Then I got a different 35, okay, same address, then 35.222, then 35.222. So what I can do, 222 and 224, what I can do is actually, yeah, I can use a network statement to block this off. So let me put this in my layer 3 part, and not net 35 dot, okay, 35.222 and 224. Let's see. Actually, now what I did to try to figure this out was, actually, let me drag this over here. What I did was trace route it. So what I'm going to do actually now is go find this other one. I'm going to trace route it as well, just to see where is it going. Because if they're both Google, I can safely ignore the both of them. But if they're not, I need to know that. 224.99. Dot 156. See what happens. You could also do this with a reverse DNS lookup. And again, it's Google user content. So what I really want to do, if I want to ignore this Google content range, let's see, let's think about this. I know I need to ignore 220 and 222 and 224. If I start my network statement at 224, you know what? I can actually do this with a couple of network statements. Dot 222.0.0/16 and not net 35.224.0.0/16. And so what I'm doing here, I'm taking both of these technically Class A ranges with Class B masks, and I'm ignoring all of them. If I accumulate enough of these, you know, I could almost do this with a probably a /12. I have to do the math on that a little bit. So rather than do that, I'm going to fire off another one. I'm still not blocking LLDP because I need to find the right terms with which to block it. Though honestly, if I'm only blocking 1 or 2 packets, that's okay. And I've also got the 224 range. Let me block off 224 as well, and not net 224.0.0/8. What that does is all of 224. It won't do anything about 225 or 6 or 7 or 8. It won't do with the entire multicast range, but it will block 224. So let's try that. And I'm going to pause this again. Okay, so I've got some more results. Let's see. So, and notice the gap. So I've got some stuff that happened about 20 minutes ago, and then nothing for 10 minutes, and then this stuff coming out of port 23. I also see this stuff that's port 137. This is also NetBEUI stuff. So what I'm going to do, and notice this is all internal to my own network. I really don't, I can consider this baseline, so I can block not just 138, but I can also block 137 and 139. And let me figure out what port 123 is. Port 123 is net time. So the weird thing is, okay, so it's reaching out to a net time server. So yeah, I'm going to block port 123 as well, because I don't need it. I can consider it standard operating procedure and not port 123. Notice that with all these port specifications, I'm not telling it UDP or TCP. I'm just doing it. And I'm going to pause this again. As you can see, this is a process that is going to take some time. So if you're going to work on this particular lab, what I suggest you do is actually potentially multitask a bit. Do some other work, have this running in the background, maybe for another class, maybe another lab for this class using a different VM. I can't do that because I can only record one thing at a time, but yeah. So let me start this again. And of course, this could take quite a while, particularly since I'm filtering more and more and more every time. So thanks for watching, and I'll actually stop this one here.